Oh, we are out here pretty bright and early. It's just us and the birds, Justin.
That's right.
I'm totally a city girl. I don't even think about where corn comes from. What am I doing here?
Well, what we're going to do today is we're going to start the journey of how to raise a corn crop all the way from the prep work that we do in the wintertime to the harvest in the fall.
And what determines exactly when you start to plant the seeds?
So what we typically wait for is the soil temperature to reach 50 degrees, and then that's go time.
And it's go time. Well, it looks pretty peaceful out here. It's incredible.
It's peaceful, but just wait. We're going to run some equipment today and show you the whole process.
All right, that sounds great.
All right, let's get started.
Sounds good. Let's do it. Justin, I thought we'd be out in the fields getting our hands dirty, doing some planting. Are you in here playing Call of Duty?
No, I'm not. Far from a video game. But so for our operation, this is where we believe stewardship starts.
Okay.
Is looking at the results from previous years and making recommendations for the following year.
And how long have you been using this technology?
This technology in particular has been available for about 4 years.
And how's that affected your farming?
Well, it makes us a better producer. For one, we're managing nutrients differently.
Okay.
And as we've seen up to a 5% increase on production.
That's great. Cool.
Up-to-date farm technology increases yields while reducing inputs. That means less cost for the grower, less chemicals on the ground. It's all about precision. It's prescriptive farming, treating each area of the field to get the most of the soil.
So what's our first step?
Well, we're standing on it. This is the applicator that we apply all of our fertilizer and chemicals with in the spring.
Sounds a little chemical-y.
Not at all. For active ingredients, we only put about 3 ounces of chemical on per acre.
Per acre, so about 3 shots an acre.
About 3 shots an acre.
And what would you compare an acre to?
Best comparison would be a football field.
And should I be concerned how that will affect the end product?
Not at all. Over time, that chemical will wear off in the soil profile, and the product that will be shipped ultimately to end users won't have the residue that that you would think that could be on the product.
And we're using chemicals like that on our lawns and gardens, right? And
Sure.
Do you have to get training to make sure you're using the right chemical mixture?
Yeah. So myself and all of our employees are trained through the state to apply and handle and use any kind of chemical.
Well, I feel safer.
Good.
A farm field is no different from a real big garden. When chemicals are diluted and applied precisely, they nourish and protect the crop while preserving both conservation and economy.
So how's the steering on this thing?
Pretty good. We're using GPS technology to take us straight in a straight line across the field.
And it looks fun to drive too.
It's pretty fun.
You are covering a lot of ground.
Yeah, so with this machine, we're covering about 50 acres an hour.
Okay.
And we're running about 3 inches deep, which is making a really nice seed bed for our planter to come through and get the crop off to a good start.
It's a little bit like riding on a bus, so you don't have every person riding in a private car, you're saving fuel this way.
Sure. With the width of the machine, it allows us to cover more ground with less fuel, and the GPS technology allows us to reduce our overlaps and be more efficient with the equipment.
And this thing looks like a giant garden weasel like we might use at home. Would you say it's the same?
Sure, yeah, it's really similar, but just on a larger scale.
Sure. I love it. I also want to know if I can drive.
You can drive.
All right then, let's go. My turn.
Modern technology, like guidance, helps optimize efficiency. Big tools contribute to economies of scale. Farmers work really hard at planting time because farmers have a short window of time to get the crops in.
I saw a lot of different colored seeds going into the planter. It looks like you're pouring Fruity Pebbles in there. Are they coated?
Yes, they're coated with a seed treatment that helps the seed combat disease and fungus, so it gives the seed a better chance to start.
Oh, that sounds important. And it looks like a huge planter. Are you poking a hole and planting each seed individually?
No, absolutely we're not. We're actually planting with populations that come from a monitor in the cab to tell us what population we should plant where in the field.
Okay. Can we get in the planter?
Sure.
Let's go. All right. Is there a window of time for planting?
Yeah, this is perfect timing right now. Middle of April to get started, get the crop in the ground. That's best case scenario for a great start to the crop.
And why is your planter so wide?
Well, this planter's 36 rows wide, which is 90 feet, and we can cover about 60 acres an hour. And with our tight planting window, it's critical for us to get across the ground quick and do a perfect job doing it.
And that helps you with the monitors. You're able to keep track of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can see what population we put where, how the planter performed throughout the field, and then that information is logged and entered up into the cloud, where we can view it at any time in our office on our iPads.
And after this, we're done to harvest, right?
No, there's a lot more to do. So we have herbicide and side dressing next.
Okay, I'll be back then.
That sounds great.
Precision technology extends from steering to application rates to seed coating. This maximizes yields, minimizes inputs, and takes advantage of narrow planting windows, all while conserving the soil for future seasons.